when the town transferred to Easington, there had to be a major investigation on design and construction defects for the properties. And myself and the then chief engineer at the district council were responsible for drawing that up. Quite a bulky document. Came to about 50-odd million, 53 million. Design and defect problems, not performance problems like lack of heating or anything like that. There was simply what was affecting the life of the structure all over the town. It didn't matter which area, Peterlee had defects. We got into the properties that had been designed by the artists that had been brought in, Victor Passmore, flat roofs, and flat roofs in northeast coastal weather do not go together. Architects knew that at the time. But the rule was laid and all the properties had flat roofs from then. One in particular was the Southwest 5 site, and that had its own structural problems. Looked good, was flat roofed, okay, but brickwork front and back looked fine. And the lime that was used was a dark blue-black coloured lime mortar, which came ready mixed on site without the cement. The colouring and the lime and the sand were mixed elsewhere. It was delivered by truck in its coloured state, and when the bricklayers were using it, the labourers put cement into the appropriate quantity of the lime mixture. Except the labourers didn't do that. They did after a fashion. They would, it was called dusting, I think. They sprinkled cement on it. Wasn't done in the proper fashion. Anyway, we sent this mortar off for analysis. And instead of a 1-1-1 mix, we were getting the chemist's report back as a 1-40. 1 cement, 40 of the coloured lime. I was on the TV camera then, and I got my screwdriver out of the car, a large screwdriver, and I said, what we found was, I'll give you an example. And I just raked round the brick in the house, right round the brick. Mortar was crumbling out. Hadn't been done then, of course. And I just eased the brick out, got a hold of it, and pulled the brick out. And he says, "Wow." I said, "Yeah, not bad, eh?" And I said, also, having done that, now I've got the brick out, I said, the bricklayer has laid it upside down. Snags and horrors of the Apollo Pavilion. Vandalism and everything that was going on at that structure. And we were instructed, again, the chief engineer and myself, were instructed to form a group. It was decided that we would contact the Army, Royal Engineers. Got put on to a major who I explained what the group was doing over the phone. He says, "Could you send me some pictures?" And I said, "Certainly, yes." I said, we've got a drawing as well, a structural drawing. Oh, great, he says, yes, right. He says, if you can send me that, yeah. He then phoned up a couple of weeks later and he says, we want to come up and have a look at it on site. He says, because it can be done. He says, you'd have to move everybody out. I said, yeah, we knew that whatever we might do drastically, we'd have to move everybody. And he said, we'd like to come and see it. Great. Then on April the 2nd, the date's branded up here. April the 2nd, 1982, I'm sitting in the office of Peterlee at Easton. And the phone rang. He says, I've got some news for you. I says, yeah, when are you coming? He says, we're not. He says, you might have been watching the news and the press and TV. He says, there's some trouble abroad, down in the Atlantic. I says, oh, the Falklands. He says, yeah. He says, we're going there overnight. He says, I got the call yesterday and I'm ringing you today because I'm clearing my office now and I'm off on the ship. Well, on the trucks onto the ship. Then they were off to the Falklands. So the Falklands saved the pavilion.